What's going on, everybody? And welcome to another Those Guys You Hate mini-sesh. Tyler,
Mini-sesh.
How are you feeling this week, brother?
I'm good, buddy. I'm feeling really good.
Now, what a mini-sesh is, Tyler, please hip the Haitian army who doesn't know to what a mini-sesh is.
Well, all of you beautiful Haitians out there.
Howdy.
That's right. I'm on board with Haitians. All of you beautiful Haitians out there couldn't get enough of us. You were clamoring for us, specifically for Ryan's nipples for whatever the reason.
They're the same color as the rest of my torso. It's very weird.
Ghost nipples, baby.
Oh, shit! Full circle, just like my nipples.
And so we started releasing these little relaxed episodes in the middle of the week where we tell you different personalized stories about us because, of course, they're going to be self-serving. What else did you tune in
That's
for?
it. I mean, if you listen to a podcast featuring two narcissists, what are you going to get? Speaking of which, if you've been listening to these things for a little while, you are going to notice over the last month and a half, all of these mini sessions have had my name in the title, Tyler. Would you like to explain why that is? I'm not attacking you. We're just...
No, I was about to say.
I feel like I'm an egomaniac and people are like, what's going on with this guy? He's a
narcissism, baby.
He's a real diva behind the camera.
Yeah. It's, you know, the truth of the matter is that one time, maybe like 3 weeks ago in the middle of the night, I woke up to Ryan just leaning over me and he says, I'm in charge of the mini sessions now.
It was a power teabag.
And I just couldn't. Yeah. Could you please get your balls off my face? I don't appreciate what you're doing, but no, in actuality, it's just, I've been, not hesitant, just, I guess, scared in a lot of ways to come up with stories because it's very vulnerable. And instead of just doing not a shtick, but like our normal sessions, just coming up with something in a personalized manner is difficult for me. I'm learning.
See, I didn't even realize that. I was wondering if you had just had trouble thinking of something that was working for you.
Well, that too, it's all together. It's all mixed in together. It's just like a blockage of some sort. And I think what's happening is a lot of times when stories do come up, my ego gets in the way and I'm like, that's stupid. No one will enjoy that.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure that everybody was recognizing that I am not the enemy here. I am here to save the day.
Well,
so this is Tyler's fucking fault.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
He spent his whole life playing video games, and now he has no stories to tell. That ain't on me, brother. I'm sorry.
I've done things. There's just a lot of video games in between those cool things that I've done.
Well, I appreciate it, and obviously I'm just joking around, and we're here for you whenever you're ready to come clean to all of the horrific crimes that you've committed.
Who's
on humanity.
we?
Me and the Haitian army. What's up, guys?
Thank you, guys.
Now, what we're going to be talking about this week, and you heard as we started off, I used to be, and I reference it all the time, in a band. That was the music that we came in with. The name of the band, a local South Florida band, was Bum Ruckus. Tyler, do you remember those times?
I did. I even as a kid, I went to a couple of those shows.
Sure.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And you know what's very interesting about it? One of the reasons why I bring it up so much is that it was such a great time in my life. It is, I would say, the precursor to doing this.
For sure.
I got a taste for this idea of putting myself out there and just truly being an artist at that point in time. And I will say this, and you may agree with it as well, I am a much better talker than I am a singer. So maybe this all worked out. Now, we took it very seriously. We did it for almost 10 years. And if anybody knows what the Warped Tour is, I'm not trying to get my bona fides here. I'm just giving some people some insight. It wasn't just like a local band. We toured constantly. We went to different...
It went to Germany, baby.
Countries. A little foreshadowing to the story that's coming up. Yeah. Do you know this story that I'm about to tell?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've talked about it many times.
We're going to find out what you know and what you don't know. So if anybody knows the Warped Tour, it's kind of like Lollapalooza. It's a traveling, what do they call it?
Circus.
No, no, I was not a lion tamer, Tyler.
It's a traveling festival where they get all these different bands to come in, and you have a lot of big names, but they also get a lot of local bands as well to support the community.
Sure, right. You have main stages and then you have little stages, so they're offering lots to people. We did this 6-7 years in a row. And so over that time, we were building up and anyway, I digress. I just remember it as being such a great time. I remember those guys, while hating them as we were touring the country because I was stuck in a van with them as they were, shitting in plastic bags and wiping their ass with CD liners. True story.
Kill me. Kill me.
Eddie, what's up, dude?
Kill me.
Some of the best times in my life. I remember, having a kid,
Poop bags.
Poop bags.
Yeah,
Thank you for putting poop bags in my mouth. So
you're the one who did that.
Our name got around to this local music producer, record label owner. At that time, I'm very old, ladies and gentlemen. At that time, internet barely existed.
Barely a thing.
Barely existed.
Yeah. And you went on there simply to get into lesbian chat rooms so you could talk to other dudes.
You would go
going to send you photos.
Backstreet Boys chat rooms and then use a punter to kick everybody out.
What?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There were these old
programs.
There were these old programs where you would just, IM them over and over again, so it would kick them offline, which, by the way, was a son of a bitch back then, because to get back online was a 45-minute process.
It really was. It really was.
Fucking A, I'm just trying to see a nipple.
Oh, hold on. Just in case.
That was our guitarist name, just in case.
In case there are children out there that are listening to this, teachers are playing this in their classrooms right now.
I am so fucking sorry.
I think we should, just for a second, play that dial-up noise right here as a nostalgia.
Welcome to the audio version of the Smithsonian Museum, and action. Oh, man.
That really takake me back.
Dude, that gives me like, it brings back almost like PTSD of boners. That means that shit was about to go down.
I was right there and you kicked me offline. Now I'm jerking off to a disconnected single.
That reminds me of me jerking off waiting to hear the garage door opening so I could book it upstairs with my dick in my hand and a bottle of Vaseline intensive care.
Okay, we got it. You've painted quite the picture, sir. Jeez.
Why is the keyboard on this computer just one giant button?
It's so slick. It's so weird.
I'm pushing all the buttons at once. Why? So we're heard by a local. At that time, you couldn't just Justin Bieber yourself out from your living room. You needed to go.
P. Diddy, save us.
P. Diddy or P. Don't-y? I don't know. So
I shouldn't have enjoyed that as much as I did. It's so stupid.
Sorry. We'll give you a minute to
I love you, and you should apologize to the audience for that.
We'll give you a minute to change podcast. We'll pause while you find a new podcast.
We totally get it.
So, a gentleman by the name of Jerome Bo Fitz.
What do I tell you about people with three names, Ryan?
Can't trust him, dude. Can't trust him. Jerome Bo Fitz allegedly heard our music and became interested. He said that he was running a record label that I can't remember the name of at the moment.
Oh, that's good.
And he not only was talking the talk, but he wanted to walk the walk. Or do I have that backwards? Was he walking the walk and he wanted to talk the talk?
No, you talk the talk first, and then you talk it up, and then you gotta walk the walk to prove that you can do what you talked.
What if you're in a wheelchair?
Then you roll the roll.
Okay. Oh, bleep all that. I'm just trying to figure out
why.
Because, Tyler, your jokes are not handy capable, and I think that we need to start working on that because it's 2022, basically.
All right, I'll try to ramp them up.
It is. So this guy.
That was tense. I didn't know what was about to show up in my ears.
I wanted to find something on here that showed support for you, but from the shadows. Because I don't want any part of that. Publicly, I disagree with you. Privately, now here's the deal. So this guy, I mean, we're so young at this point that this guy, what he wants to take us to Germany. Now, we're in a ska band, as you heard at the very beginning of the show. So that means there's 27 of us, okay? So we don't have to worry about getting raped because there's power in numbers. Or just our whole, trombone section alone would beat the shit out of this guy.
Very much so. And I even remember that meeting, and not to jump ahead, but I even remember the meeting where we got together at Josh's house.
Were you there?
And everybody brought their families and
I was doing a lot of drugs at that time. Because at that time, in my mind, we're getting flown out to Germany. We've made it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to come clean right here on the air. I don't even have this written down. We had saved up a bunch of money through the band. If anybody's listening to this, I'm very sorry. We had saved up a bunch of money through the band. When this guy said that we're signed, that we were going to go do our thing, me and two other unnamed members of the band, Eddie and Josh, spent all that money, bro. We went to a crab house, drugs. we went to
don't do drugs, kids.
Rustic Inn. We ate gator tail and crab, more drugs.
Would you
was,
happen to remember how much money it was?
I believe it was in the 4 digits.
Woo.
Yeah, man. We thought we were done.
Yeah.
We thought we were done.
Yeah.
So our families come over, everybody signed up. You're like, I can't believe it. After 7 years, we did it, you know? So he buys us tickets to Germany, which is not cheap. And I will mind you, we're a rock band. I dye my hair blue. My drummer dyes his hair tennis ball green, famously. And we are flying over there. This is, when we get to Germany, is exactly at the time. This is right around after 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
A couple years after 9/11 happened, Germany, while we were in Germany, declared that they would not be helping America in their search for weapons of mass destruction.
Okay.
And I'm over there looking American as
Very American.
Very American. And I'm worried. So it was a tense time for everybody involved.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is, you know, Germany's pretty, you know, relatively safe, I think, European-wise.
They just seem very mean. I don't know. Anybody listening to me in Almania right now, I love you and I'm happy that you're here, but we need to do something about your aura, man. It's a cold society. I know firsthand.
They're very stoic people and they speak with weight. When they speak, their words are like punches.
It's a Germanic language, obviously. It is a very cold.
That makes sense.
You know what else reminds me a lot of that is Haitian. And I hope I'm not saying anything hateful, because I certainly don't mean anything about the people.
Not our Haitians, the people who live in Haiti.
H-A-I-T-I-A-N-S, not H-A-T-I-A-N-S. I don't know why people keep getting that confused.
Yeah, it's weird.
Not Haitians, Haitians.
Yeah. What don't you get?
This guy, Jerome Beaufitz, has promised us the world. When we get there, we're recording an album. He's talking about getting us on a show with Green Day, which at the time would be much more impressive than it is now, I guess.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. We get there. There's 12 of us. We go. At first, he needs us to stay in what's that called, where everybody sleeps in like bunk beds? In a hostel, which sounds kind of crazy. Fun as shit.
Yeah.
Fun as shit.
If you're there with a group of guys, yeah, man,
thinking that you just are joining the rock star life, you're living on top of the world until you eat your world's first German sausage, which is disgusting, by the way.
Really?
Dude, I ate this hot dog drunk as fuck the first night that I was there.
Germany listens to us.
It's like it was encased in plastic. Like I had to break a wax seal to make it to the meat. What are you guys doing over there, man? I was drunk as shit. I'm like, nah, let me die. Germany, I love you. But good God. Have you ever heard of a chicken finger? It's delicious. A little honey mustard.
They don't even have to be shaped like dinosaurs. Just give me some chicken nuggets. It's fine.
I
all
would
right?
prefer a T-Rex if you got one back there. So this guy has us staying in a hostel, which turned out to be awesome as F, but immediately is not what we were promised. All of a sudden we're like, okay, but this guy's doing so much for us. You want to be accommodating. We're also, you know, in our early 20s living out this life. So let's go, man. You're drinking beers the size of your femur. It's freaking incredible. So after a couple of days, he says, okay, I'm going to get you out to where I am. You guys, you know, you chilled there for a little bit. Come to me. We get to him. He's living in like a 1-bedroom flat with he and his German girlfriend, a woman by the name of Anna. Now, he is from America, from Georgia. He is a 6'7" black man. Okay. Again, not what we had anticipated. Not him being black. The 1-room flat.
Probably should have said that first, but I get where you're going.
Sure, we had met with him before. We were well aware of his blackness at this point.
Yeah, they didn't get to Germany.
And we were fine with it. We were good with it.
They didn't get to Germany and they were shocked.
Like, I'm glad he was black.
Okay.
In retrospect.
Okay.
What?
Please continue.
Editing Ryan's going to make us cut all that. So we're two very different Ryans.
Show Ryan really makes editing Tyler work so much harder.
Editing Ryan hates Show Ryan. So I'm getting
everybody does.
Let's everybody bring it down. Let's everybody calm down. So, as you could tell by a constantly shifting story, we're starting to become more weary and more weary of this person. Now, we don't immediately go to bad feelings, but we are. Hey, wait a minute. This is kind of weird.
Yeah.
This album that we were supposed to be recording when we get there isn't in place. So he's calling places or whatever. We all meet up to practice, but I mean, I could practice here at home. Like, what the hell? I'm happy to be here, but what's really going on? Our stay has been a lot less comfortable than we had anticipated. And we've also started to notice that perhaps Jerome Beaufitz may have some type of addiction issue.
Ah.
The drinking is pretty high, and with us too.
Yeah.
We like to party.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
like to have a good time.
Yeah.
But it feels a little tense. He could tell we're disappointed. We're a little confused. I'm in my early 20s, so I am very open to speaking my mind, Tyler. And I'm imbibing alcohol while the sun's still out, which helps me with that.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a certain superpower, but if your superpower was evil.
When we go on vacation and we drink more than we normally would, I'm a little bit of a dick sometimes. Sometimes when my eyes are open. So, to make a long story less long, he's there with his girlfriend. Like I had mentioned, a German woman named Anna, and she's very nice to us. He is becoming a little bit more tense as things aren't working out. You know, when you're caught in your bullshit and the tension starts to mount, the stress and the anxiety of being caught because you didn't do what you said you were going to do.
You just start yelling at the group, how could you do this to me?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You go into that victim mentality.
Yeah.
You don't understand how it is for me.
Yep.
So this idea starts to emerge. One day, he asked me to go on a ride with him, to go pick up groceries or whatever. We get in his car, and he very casually asked me, he says, so, you fancy Anna, huh? Fancy Anna, his girlfriend who's living there with us.
Did he say the word fancy?
Yeah, of course. He's like,
Weird.
He's pretending like he's European. It's like, motherfucker, you were born in Atlanta.
Yeah.
What happened to you?
Yeah.
Are you wearing an ascot? What's going on with you? Take your monocle out and take this seriously. So he asked me, do you fancy Anna? And I am definitely being friendly to her. And I am a flirtatious person, has been brought to my attention over the years.
Yeah. Ryan, I'm your brother. Stop it, please.
Oh, are these your testicles? I'm so sorry. Let me take them off my ears like earmuffs.
What?
Imagine me
What are you doing to my body?
Imagine me stretching your scrotum down over the top of my head and putting your balls on my ears like earmuffs, Tyler. That's all I'm asking.
Didn't you just ask everybody to calm down?
And your dick is draping across my
There
nose.
we go.
So like I said, now this has become introduced into the stream of consciousness there in the apartment. Things are becoming more and more tense. I am an entitled little shit. Now.
Yeah, I was going to say, so what were you then?
A drug-fueled entitled little shit. And now I'm thinking, this guy promised me all this stuff. Now you're coming at me sideways. I said to him, hey, dude, I would never do that to you. You're my friend. You've brought me all the way out here. I would never disrespect you like that. And I wouldn't. I truly wouldn't. But you could tell in his mind, this thing is starting to corrode. You know what I'm talking about? So this all ramps up to St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day happens while we're there in Germany. We're scheduled to be there for 2 weeks. A week into it, St. Patrick's Day happens.
Do they do anything in for St. Patrick's Day in Germany?
It's much like here. It's a regional.
Just
we all
the
go
thing to
out
celebrate.
and we get drunk.
Gotcha.
And over there, they're getting drunk all the time.
Anyway.
Anywhere, any place, anytime. They have cigarette machines on the side of buildings. So you can buy cigarettes as you casually walk down the street to all the preteens out there.
I mean, not as impressive as used panties in a vending machine in Asia, but pretty impressive.
Here's the thing with used panties.
Getting off the topic again.
I want to know where they come from.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
There should be a photo next to the panties of who was wearing these.
Or I need pheromones. I want.
Oh, there will be pheromones.
Before I take used panties and crush them into my face. Or wear them like Spider-Man. I want to know where they've come from.
I'm back in on the Spider-Man wear.
Thank you. Then I pull it up over my mouth, give her a little smooch. You know how it goes as I hang upside down.
Of course.
So on this night of St. Patrick's Day, I believe there is some use of, as we call down here in Miami, the cocaine. The cocaine.
Yes. The snow down here in Miami.
Sure, because he's become increasingly agitated. We go out to an Irish pub. Our conflict reaches an all-time high. It ends up with us going back to his house, collecting all of our things. It becomes extremely intense. I also am intoxicated, not on the cocaine, wasn't offered, but I just, not that I would.
Still pissed off about that.
I mean, if we're going to fight, let's be on an equal playing ground here, bro.
You got popped by spinach. I'm over here fucking drunk off my ass.
You're fucking Super Saiyan. How'd you get up there? So the fact of the matter is it all goes crazy. Okay. Now here's the thing. Never would have done anything against this guy. I would never, or at least I could say I'd never have cheated on one of my friends with one of their girlfriends.
Yeah.
I've never done it. Aside from maybe like when I was like a preteen, you know, when you're dating somebody
Sure.
in like school or whatever.
Sure.
So.
And you haven't totally grasped empathy yet.
Yeah. And karma and just being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And that friendships more often than not are more important than love interests. So to make all that said, not only do we get kicked out of the house / leave, so does Anna from Germany also argues with him and leaves because she is also, his scapegoat in his internal conflict.
Of course.
So I know this paints me in a bad picture, but we end up going back to her house. We end up staying at her house for the second week of the house. And we do end up getting together, Tyler.
Okay.
Anna and I end up when you're in some sort of crazy situation where adrenaline's being pumped.
I do.
It is an intoxicant. You know what I mean? It's like drinking baby's blood.
Okay, so see, this is what I don't understand.
I recommend it.
I don't understand because you will ride the wave up top with mash used panties into my face.
Sure.
But then when you go to the next conversation, it's we got it on, and then you go right on to drink baby's blood.
Yeah.
There is no consistency with you.
Ryan on.
Pick a level, bro.
So we end up there at this woman's house.
She had sex.
And
You gave her the old heave ho, huh?
I put my ding ding in her hee haw.
Yeah,
Tyler.
yeah.
So make it suffice it to say, I'll just tell you, while we were there, we traveled to Amsterdam on a bullet train.
Love it.
That on the way over there, we had so much excitement to go to Amsterdam. We stayed up all night drinking in the bar car.
Of course.
So when we got to Amsterdam, we were all terribly hungover.
Yeah.
Had a terrible time. We immediately smoked, and I had a seizure in a coffee house.
Oh, it's good. You got to get that out every once in a while.
Absolutely. You got to shake out the sillies,
That's
Tyler.
right. That's right.
And we came back. He tried to cancel our plane tickets. Very spiteful, very upset.
Yeah.
As cokeheads are one to be.
I mean, not all cokeheads. There's got to be one nice cokehead out there.
Nope. Oh, David the cokehead from Costa Rica.
That's right. That's a story for another time.
Yes, a very kind cokehead.
So what happened? He tried to cancel the tickets, and
we canceled his canceling by getting our parents involved, which is still a move that I use to this day.
Oh, for sure.
And we came back, and Anna moved over here for me, and we never talked again. And that is the story of being flown over to Germany. And just to put a little cherry on top of this.
What was that last part?
And to put a little... Tyler, we talked on the last...
There was a last part there.
So terrible, Tyler.
It was the last part. What was that?
We said I love you to each other and stuff like that. And her family had a lot of money. And so she flew over here without talking to me at all.
Yeah, that's kind of dick.
She also put a picture of her in my luggage and told me as I was like 5 minutes away from the airport. And so when I got to the airport, they're like, so did anybody put anything in your luggage that you don't know about? I had to say yes. And they were not kind, Tyler. But she moved back over here, and I didn't, in the cold light of the morning, I didn't feel that way about her. And I went about breaking things off in the most toxic of ways.
Oh, really?
That was my way of doing things.
Yeah.
Anna, if you could hear this, I'm very sorry about that.
She very clearly listens to
I was
the
a
show.
very insecure. Yeah, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my story. That is my story of, I don't know what we're going to call it, that time that Ryan was internationally hijacked. And
that's pretty good.
And I would like to say to everybody out there, I hope that you guys are having a great holiday. I know that right now is a turbulent time for your listening habits and all that stuff, but our numbers are doing great. We just had the best day that we've ever had for downloads, and the person to thank is you.
Merry Christmas to us.
And happy holidays. And
happy holidays to you.
You're snitching on yourself, you hateful person.
I said Merry Christmas to us. I'm allowed to specify what I celebrate. Happy holidays to all of you people, especially our Kwanzaa listeners.
The Festival of Lights, Tyler.
You better be right about that, and I don't think you are.
They're all the Festival of Lights to me. You're all my little lights, and we love you guys, man.
We really do.
Exciting. And
we really do.
We want to be consistent, and we just want to be there for you guys because you are part of the Menendez family.
And let me just say that there is a new branch of the military listening to us right now. We welcome the Navy members all listening to us. Thank you so much, guys and ladies.
What?
Yeah. We'll talk about it
through one of your
one of our compatriots. She's got her Navy brethren in on it. So
I think
welcome.
We have to say, due to social norms, thank you for your service. Otherwise,
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Send us some of your really your most popular insults towards other military branches.
Sure.
Maybe we'll read some on the show.
And please make me an official Navy SEAL without having to do any other work. We are those guys you hate.
Be kind, or we'll kill you. naming somebody's teeth is one of those things that when you specify how nice they are, it's kind of weird.
It just stands out how nice it is. And I know where I ran in, sorry, I'm wrestling this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where I ran into a lot of trouble with this is, this is so real, it hurts me to say out loud. When I'm dating someone new, I like to tell them like, oh man, you got such nice skin. Like, I really love your skin.
I've heard you say that
Right,
before.
right.
Yeah.
Young, fresh skin.
If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is.
This would make a great overcoat. Have you ever thought about turning this into a duster?
This would go great as a lampshade.
Oh my Lord, you are like a walking coffee table. Am I right?
Oh,
now,
boy.
Tyler,
That's gross.
what I love to do with this show, the way that this show is bleeding over from reality into, the Haitian army, it's hard to tell what's real.
How do we know that this isn't reality and everything out there is a lie?
Neo, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you.
Get my trench coat.
The human skin one?
Whatever.
I'm on it. Wait a minute, wasn't that black?
You know what? This is a post-color world, Ryan.
We need to talk about how I was just watching a video on my phone and it was sent to me in a very private fashion.
It was.
Unbeknownst to me, my phone was on Bluetooth. Tyler had his headphones on. I did not.
He had the Bluetooth connected to the soundboard that we run all the audio devices through, the microphones, the headphones, everything. And
technology eludes me, Tyler.
I just hear, look at me in my funny outfit or whatever it was, or my sexy outfit.
My sexy outfit, Tyler. We got to be real with the people.
Please forgive me.
And I think that this is something that not just old people are afraid of, which is me, but even kids just trying to passively watch degrading pornography in their bedroom, and now everybody's on the Apple TV listening to what Billy actually likes.
Yeah. It's we got to know Billy a little bit more than we should have.
Inside and out.
Yes. Ugh.
Yes. So, speaking of my girlfriend, speaking of things happening in our lives, you asked me before we turned the microphones on, you said, how are you feeling? I said, don't ever talk to me when the microphones aren't on.
And then I said, please stop hitting me. You're hurting me.
You're looking me in my eyes. You asked for this. I told you the rules.
You challenged me as a man.
I told you the rules of the Menendez Mansion 2.0, Lord.
The only time you're allowed to speak to me is when these microphones are on.
Now, here is the deal. My girlfriend, whom I love so much, celebrates Christmas, Tyler. Have you heard of Jolly Old Saint Xmas?
Yes, I have. I'm so excited for Santa this year.
Right, which is, we all have to go through the trauma that is getting ready for Christmas, and it's unfair. Now, this bitch,
thank you, technology, what?
Decided to make her birthday December 23rd. Now, that is just rude.
That is rude.
It's just rude.
It's you know what it is? Selfish.
And you know what the deal is? Because I just found out somewhere around December 20th what her birthday was. You know when you get into
that early, huh?
Well,
wow, you got ahead of the game.
It's just, all of a sudden she said she had mentioned it before. I don't recall.
Yeah.
But it's like when you get into a relationship and you keep something hidden, and then once you're already wrapped up in it,
like a penis,
you explode. No, that was mentioned at the beginning.
That's what got me in.
Yeah. I tested it by seeing how many wet towels I could hang upon it. 3.5, Tyler. 3.5. I mean, that thing is strong like bull.
What'd you get, a washcloth for the fourth one?
One of those little face towels that you hang from the little loop.
We ran out of material.
Those are the most dangerous games. Those towels that just kind of hang there because you don't know what sort of germs they're infested with. But right? Everybody's wiping their nose on the same towel. That's not right.
Can we stay on point of you calling your girlfriend a bitch?
Full circle. So I bought her a present. We are supposed to leave on our first little road trip tomorrow.
And it's your first road trip as a couple.
Which is just so exciting.
It's adorable.
It's fun.
Adorable.
Right. It's looking, we're going to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. It's looking more and more like she has COVID.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so unbelievably selfive of her.
I told you there's no God.
Good.
And
well, that escalated very quickly.
How could you do this to me?
Why have you forsaken me in my trip?
After all I've done for you?
The way that I have sacrificed.
On the day of my daughter's wedding.
I can't even say it seriously as a joke.
I'm just kidding around, buddy. You know I love you, player. So, and here's the reason that I bring it all up. Number one, because it's obviously a momentous thing that is happening on today. And I learned about all this 24 hours before we were supposed to.
momentous thing, do you mean the trip in your relationship, or do you talking about COVID in general?
I'm actually just discussing it in terms of I was really looking forward to this. Not just going with her, who that is the top of my priority, just getting out of town,
Hell yeah,
doing
man.
something different,
Hell
jumping
yeah.
in your car, going out to dinner, having real weird hotel sex.
Absolutely.
All
And
of
then-
those things.
And then the perfect thing about those road trips, those quick weekend road trips,
Dang,
is
yeah.
that you're not that far away from your bathroom. You're back.
Yeah.
Boom. 4
Yeah.
hours later, I'm sitting on my throne, baby.
Sure. And I can only put up with her like 28 hours at a time. So
And
this
you've
is
made it mean.
This is set up to just work out perfectly. So here's,
Nicole, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry you got to put up with this.
Well,
I can't do the shtick anymore.
make
I'm sorry you
decisions
got
better.
Well,
mother
that
flicker.
that I can agree with.
So here is the thing, and here's the reason why I bring it up. Not just to give a peek into my life, but also because I think there's something here. The way that I interpret all information that is given to me is immediately, how does this affect me? My girlfriend is
I saw it
telling me,
coming.
like, hey, I have this dire issue that's going on. I'm like, what about my fucking night?
What about my vacation?
And I don't even know that I'm doing it. I
Yeah.
don't. It is it's not that I'm a bad person. It's not that I'm evil. It's a habit of thought patterns.
That's perfect. It's the machinations we talk
Sure.
about, very much like addiction.
That's exactly what it is.
It's a behavior.
I have learned to protect myself by, and this is no excuse. This is a habit that I am on the track to break because I am noticing it and I'm doing everything that I can because I care about relationships. I care about other people. I just need to remind myself of that.
Mhm. And may I just say that you don't have to say that you're making excuses. You acknowledging it and taking responsibility is the road to recovery, that you're literally recovering from it by acknowledging it.
And what's super helpful is in the moment, she reminds me of it while still being nice and being understanding and knowing that in a lot of ways I'm an infant in my mind.
It's so true.
It's true.
It's true. We both are.
Not
Absolutely.
not an infant, but I would say I'm in the transition from preteen to teen in my relationship, my emotional journey, because I was stunted. You know what I mean?
Emotional puberty, man.
That's exactly right.
Mhm.
So I was stuck at, 11 years old for 20 years. So now I have made some progress from that, and she has been very helpful and she's been very understanding. And also, I can tell she's getting sick of my shit.
It's bound to
I get it.
happen.
Me
It's bound to
too.
happen.
You get to go home at some point. I got to stay here.
like water smashing on rocks. Eventually,
Yeah.
the rocks wear
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. If you really love me, you can put up with this and this. And how about that?
And it's gonna get worse.
Please don't leave.
And the thing is we don't have to view ourselves as in a single point in time. And what I mean by that is you saying I'm a preteen in relationships, just with relationships. You're also an adult when it comes to certain things.
Sure.
And we're in certain ways, and I genuinely mean this, infantile in a lot of
Yep,
ways.
absolutely.
You know?
Well, it's those primal instincts of me. I need to protect myself.
Mhm.
And I think what makes this show interesting, if you find the show interesting, if you're listening to the pregame on a mini-sesh, my assumption is you do.
What are you doing here?
Get a job, you fucking loser.
Jesus.
I'm talking to you specifically. Somebody's sitting in my car, they're like, oh God, he's got me pegged. And I'd love to.
Just let me.
I think what makes this show interesting is the dichotomy between the wisdom that we've accrued from fucking up so much because of our infantile nature and our deep desire to change, and knowing that the way to do that is with us. There's nobody in this world that's going to make me feel better other than me.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
And the further down you go into that pit
Or maybe my youth leader, Garrett.
Hey, Garrett.
Hey, buddy.
The further down you go into that pit of despair, when you eventually do recover, and unfortunately not everybody does, but the ones who do recover, and I like to think you and I are on that road, and we're bringing all of you motherfuckers with us.
I mean, you guys are fighting tooth and nail.
That's right. When you finally recover from that position, you're so much more enlightened about that position.
Absolutely.
You have to go
gotta
through,
go through it.
that shit to really know. And I know it sounds like I'm saying the most obvious thing in the world, but sometimes it's easy to forget that a lot of people out there like to give advice on things that they've never experienced before.
And I am one of them. So they
backseat psychologist,
the
baby.
skydiving tour will be right after we're done here. So so my final point here is I'm putting a premium on, hey, I'm a little disappointed and this isn't working out the way that I had pictured for such a long time. I mean, weird hotel sex, dude.
Yeah.
What's better than that?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
my priority here is her and her feelings and how she's feeling. And this isn't about me. And I'm going to have to just keep reminding myself of that until it happens on its own.
Yeah, I mean, gray area, maybe it's not about you, but it could be about your penis.
And well, I'm glad you said that because she also divulged to me that to make sure that I don't cheat, she says she likes to suck me dry. Is that a weird thing to say?
What the fuck, bro?
She says she does not put me back out on the, sometimes she's falling asleep and she's like, I just go one more time to make sure there's nothing left in there.
We're bleeping all of this. We're bleeping, I mean, what the shit?
I love you, baby. Get better soon. Let's do the show. That's true. That's really true.
Why would you say that?
She said, I asked her, I texted her at the very end of that whole conversation, which started with COVID and ended with that joke. I'm like, hey, you don't mind if I mention this on the show, right? And she's like, no, I didn't specify which parts.
You didn't tell her the words you were going to say.
Well, life is a real wild card, isn't it?
I'm just going to say one more time. I'm sorry, Nicole.
Love you, baby.